Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing? Hopefully, well. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this broadcast. Shout out to the replay gang. Um, so I was actually just, chilling back, flipping through YouTube, and I came across Brother Panic's recent video about the moon. And I just wanted to watch it with you all before, like, I just finished it by myself. So I'm about 18 minutes in. He was really just kind of, opening up the room, warming up the room, speaking to people. So, um, yeah, I wanted to listen to this lecture with you all. Those of you all that are replaying or that are the replay game, just let me know your thoughts down below. I'm curious to know, like, his thoughts on the moon, what it means, because, so within, so without. So, everything that we see outside of ourselves is a projection of what is inside of us. So, with these new moon phases, what does that mean? Like, what's happening on the inside, you know? Hey, Shayla. Welcome, welcome. Peace, goddess. So, yeah, we're going to get into this video and we just going to, listen to it together. Shayla, if you wouldn't mind letting me know if the volume is good once we start the video, but it should be good. All right, y'all, let's look. Let's climb in consciousness together. All right, y'all. I'm about to press play.
Going to actually fight, or when you're actually going to play in front of an audience. All the practicing in the hand position and the repetition, play chopstick first. You're learning how to control and keep your hands in the base position. And when you do learn more complication things, it starts from that base. And you're already, it's so ingrained in you. That's the same thing with this moon phase shit. Same thing with the zodiac shit. Certain things that you learn at a human level, that where humanity meets divinity, where humanity meets spirituality. So moon phases, your humanity in terms of time that you know, time that's routine, that equates to hand position, is in the same, it is used to explain to you waning, waxing, new moon, and full, and the energies that are associated with it, and how to work within that scheme. All right, so waxing moon, so I need to think this way. It's a waning moon, so I need to think get rid of waxing. I need to gain. I need to think full of abundance in this one. I need to take what in the new moon. I need to take out of the invisible and bring it into the visible. So once you get that concept in order, you want to therefore be able to say, well, wait, why do I have to wait for a full moon to do this or a waning moon to do that? And we'll get to what the fuck the moon is in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just seen a video where they showed and proved that the Egyptian, the Hindu, and the Sumerian talked about a people before the time of the moon. Then there's a book who built the moon. And then there's the seismic charges on the moon and it rung like a bell. And then there's the picture where they see the moon keep shaking. First of all, you can't say this is Maya and this is an illusionary world, but the moon is real. The blue moon is real. These are things that are happening in you, but you don't know what's happening in you. This may just be blue moon, may just something to do with your blue chakra or blue frequency. I haven't heard anything, and not to mention, no matter what I've ever heard over the years, nobody made anything special happen out of it. And if things happen or shifted or changed, it was happening anyway, whether you know it or not. To make yourself aware of it or to look forward to it, it's just another wait till Jesus come back moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a fruit. It's also called the fruit moon. By who? By whom? You know what I'm saying? Show me the text where black people were calling it a fruit moon. And I'm not to say it's not out there, but at the end of the day, are you dependent on the moon to do whatever it is you need to do? Or limited by being a Sagittarius, a Taurus, or a goddamn Aquarius? We should understand, people ask, do you believe in it? It's not a belief system. Those things are true. What I'm talking about is a level. It's a level. You know what I'm saying? It's a level that we need to understand. That we're still, in fact, zodiac is time. That's why there's 12 of them. I mean, it's quite simple. When you understand the story of Christ or Jesus or the Christos energy, which you need to understand, if your consciousness is supposed to be true consciousness, you become Christ. That means you become the 13. The 13 is the number that gets you out of this lockdown. It gets you out of the 12. Jesus had 12 disciples. The word disciple means discipline. Those are the 12 zodiacs. To discipline the zodiac is to become the 13. That's to discipline the animalistic nature of yourself. That's why each Taurus has good attributes and bad attributes. And so do I believe that? Absolutely. That'd be stupid not to believe. But for me to invest my consciousness in that is another way of saying I'm investing my consciousness into humanity. And that's a choice. Is it wrong or right? I'm not talking about wrong or right. Is it good or bad? I'm not talking about good or bad. It is what it is. But what I've been saying for the last 20 years since I've been here is there's another thought process that transcends that type of thinking. And that's what I strive for. And that's what I'm hoping anyone who's a true student of the occult is striving for as well. Not to be locked down by when the moon turns blue or when it's the closest to the earth.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there and kind of summarize, and also speak to everybody coming in the building. What's up, family? I hope all is well with y'all. Thank y'all for coming in tonight. Look, if y'all are here listening to this kind of information, and it's almost Friday, look, I already know, like, y'all are seeking higher wisdom. So ashe. So basically, Brother Panic so far, just to kind of like sum it up real quick. This first segment, he's really just talking about the base concept of the moon, like inner and outer, and also trying to encourage us to not get so caught up in, astrology, astrological signs, moon phases, and we're supposed to do this on this time because of this, that, like, not to really make your spiritual walk religious, because we're coming out of religion. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go ahead and press play again, but I think that that's a great point because, I feel like in the world of spirituality, occultism, we kind of get caught in the material of everything. We got to have our altars, or we got to have, this kind of sage, or we got to have, this kind of food on our altar, or these kind of tarot cards, So, anyway.
That to not ignore it, but not put your emotional excitement. Oh, it's a new moon. We're on live. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between today and fucking when it was an old fucking moon? Nothing. You're either gonna get it or you're not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? You need to work on getting a truer understanding of what all of this shit means instead of acting like. And let me say it again, instead of acting like you're participating in something that you're sitting around witnessing. The moon is blue, so I wore my blue shorts today as I punched in that fucking Arby's. We got the meats. The moon is blue, but we got the meats.
Facts.
Listen, you need to stop acting like you're doing something spiritual and actually do what it entails to become spiritual. And what I found, like I said, you may not come to this determination, but But be honest with yourself. Have you really probed that within yourself to see if you come to that? Somebody said they work at art pumps, and you'll be working there after the moon turns fucking white again. And that's the point. And I'm not saying there's not necessarily nothing wrong with working at hobbies. We all here doing what we got to do. If you really work there, we all doing what we got to do, but we need to stop faking that we're doing something that we're not. That's really nothing more than the same Christianity that's sitting there and giving themselves
Right.
believe that some God is coming back to rescue them and can walk on water. Because they don't have any access or any power, they empower themselves emotionally with this. You understand? They empower themselves emotionally with this. Emotionally, what drives your emotion comes from within, not because the moon turns blue. If I'm excited about a blue moon, I'm excited about what I'm going to make happen on the blue moon. But again, I urge you to get past the blue moon and make it exciting for what happens on the white moon as well. Now, if you found some information that it makes it easier somehow on a moon that's blue to do something, then by all means, knock yourself out and be as excited as you want to. But understand something quite clearly. The jury's still out if the moon is even real. Y'all need to understand that. So while you even trying to have a debate about the moon and how much you should get into it and how real any of that shit is, there's a real live, vigorous study on the moon being an artificial intelligent or artificial body here that actually fucks you up. You gotta understand how much it pulls on water and blood, and that's what you're basically made of. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings about how sexy a blue moon is, because white people ain't talking about it. What do you think you're talking about? Because niggas in the conscious community talk like you think that's something? These niggas ain't nothing. These niggas, man, once YouTube say you can get some money, it will tell you any and every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people who are really dedicated to the study. I'm dedicated, if you must know, to the study for myself.
Hey, Kimmy
Truth
Mo,
be told,
welcome
fuck
in.
y'all. Because I can talk and I feel it's a part of what I'm here to do. If you benefit from it, excellent. But need to understand. You never notice you ain't hear me arguing and debating with none of these fucking clown ass niggas? Because I don't have nothing to prove about what I'm teaching. I'm not, see, they argue and debate because they're trying to sell you niggas because you niggas are fucking sheep. And y'all need to become the terms with that. Y'all sheep, and even though you think you deep, they're fucking playing with your ego. They all think you're sheep. And I dwell amongst most of them.
That's
Let
a
me say
fact.
most of them, not all.
That's a fact.
Most of them talk and think of you as units and sheep. That's real. You just think you're deep because they told you you're deep because you have melanin. But see, I've been consistently telling you, and will tell you today as well, you ain't shit unless you're doing this work. I don't need you to follow me. I don't need your fucking clicks or your attention. If I needed anything, I'm gonna find it in myself and fulfill those needs. I don't need you to be needed. But if I need somebody to talk to and hang out with on Thanksgiving and go to some concerts with, then you and I are in business. But for this study, this is called Know Thyself, not Know Thy Community.
That part.
If you need a community, and I understand we all may need a community because most of us were the black sheep in the family, and this is that true family that you can, for the best case or the best case scenario, you can find as a substitute, then nothing should stop you. Nothing is wrong with that. But you need to call it a spade a spade. You understand what I'm saying? You need to call a spade a spade. And if that family is talking about and is excited about the blue moon, then you need to understand what that means. And that's fine too for them. But again, I'm speaking to the people who want to step out of that because you're all pretending that you do. So I'm talking to the ones who want to step out of that not trying to force you or tell you my way or that is even my way at all. I try to stick to a cult understanding and make what I do clear and make you understand that you're not here to do what I do. You're here to find out what you need to do. And you're not going to be, unless you come up with your own blue moon ritual, unless you find your own thing inspired by your own self, then it's all worthless. If you're doing what some guy said to do, this is what you do on a blue moon night, then I'm your preacher. I'm your preacher. That is not occult science. There is a certain level of that. If we were in a group dynamic of occult science, and again, y'all know what I think about groups, they all eventually go bust. But let's say we started out and somehow we're making progress as a group at this moment. Okay, there might be a group ritual we could do, like how we did Captain America. But see, I want you to understand, here's a different interpretation. When I told you guys to do the Captain America ritual, I said everyone get a Captain America doll and do whatever they want to do. I didn't say all take it to the toilet and do that, or all take it underground and do that. Well, sometimes that can happen because that adds more power, but it's got to be the minds that are on it. If you're doing it for the church ritual, then you're adding power to somebody else's ritual, because you're just a mindless ghoul. But if you're using this to empower yourself, then you're taking your own power and using it for your cause, but then adding to the ether of the synchronicity that adds to a bigger power. I know it's really not that hard when I'm saying, even though it sounds like it's what I'm saying is a little bit more complicated, but it's the mentality that is actually the key in it. If you have a church mentality, oh, the moon is blue. But see, if I ask that same excited person, well, what are you going to do? What does it mean? Who is the first people to talk about sciences? What's the mythology of the blue moon? What's the metaphysics? What's the esoteric? Give me some scholarship on the esoteric studies. Give me something that someone said or proved that they have done or that you can do that yields anything besides what you can yield yourself through your own will, confidence, and your own knowing. Tell me. And we won't even get to one or two of those. We won't get past one or two of those. But they're the same person, right? Oh, it's a full moon, it's blue in the year. You can't be that gullible in any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Understand that none of it is wrong. Don't look at it in terms of right or wrong. Look at it in terms of level. And you need to understand where things go. And how do you define level? When you wipe it away, does it really oversee your humanity? Or does it oversee or help push to evolving past it? So if I say, oh, you're an Aquarius, so you act like this and you act like that, does that sound like someone who's telling you, I see your spirit or I see your humanity? So why the fuck I want to hear that? If you just see my humanity and you cannot see my divinity, then why the fuck do I want to talk to you? I might as well go try to talk to Beyonce. And here tells she probably can see your spirituality more than half you niggas in here these days. But I might as well talk to a human being if you're gonna just say, oh, you're a Taurus, that means you like to I get it. And you ever notice that very few pick your sign? Oh, Patty, you must be a Taurus when you act like that. As soon as you tell them, oh, I knew it. What's your sign? You're a Capricorn? I knew it. That's why you act like that. No, why you ask me my sign? You should be saying, you're a Capricorn because. Like, again, not trying to shit on it, nothing wrong. It's a level. And then there's some people who excel at that level of it. But again, when I hear it, I can see the Kamites understanding of the personality types and how we were put into a prison system. So in other words, if I went to Rikers Island and they said, these are the houses, 2 top, 2 middle, 2 lower, 4 top, 4 middle, 4 lower, 3 top, 3 middle, 3 lower, 1 I think it was a 1-2. Now, it was called Two Top Chop Shop. 2 main, 4 main, House of Pain. That was the first one. So even House of Pain comes from Rikers Island 4 main. And Two Top Chop Shop used to say, which had a more Puerto Rican presence. So if your black ass went in there, oh, believe they're gonna Julianne your ass. And they used to call them Germans because that was a mind control thing to get you to see Puerto Ricans as your enemy and not the same as you. I mean, long and short and round about it, you gotta understand your lane and what you're playing with. You're mixing me in, and there was a time it wasn't like that. You're mixing me in with every other dumb thing you're hearing from everybody else when they're trying to celebrate and get your attention. So they're trying to do things, which is nothing wrong with, that make your humanity better. You know what I'm saying? So that you can see who you are as a human. That is absolutely a part of our divine understanding, because we don't even know who we are as humans. So I honor and celebrate those who teach any of this stuff. Zodiac, all of that. It's just that you got to understand that's not here. Moon phases are not here. Understand what I'm saying? Unless you that new person, I say fuck with it until you find you don't need moon phases, or you don't need to read the book anymore for keyboards. You're ready to start recording, and then you're ready to play live concerts with a keyboard because you've gotten to that level. Let's have respect and deal with these shit on a level. Move like you're dealing with levels, you know what I'm saying? Not just you running your mouth and you a fucking church mother, fresh out of church, and never change your, hold on, let me tell myself to bring me 2 slices. 3 slices. That shit. Give me 1 second, let me text my son. I'm texting Tori. How about y'all send me a little Cash App love? Brother Pan, got it pinned at the top, $ Brother Pan. They're all fighting for your attention. They all have this egotistical super saving there. You need to be absolutely clear. The only person you can absolutely save is yourself. The true teacher only can give you the tools for you to go on your own automatic pilot.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? And again, from what I teach, and again, like I said, I want to make this clear, I'm not taking away from anything and anybody who teaches on whatever level, because we all need it at a certain level. But y'all need to stop sitting there and just want to hear people repeat it over and over and keep hearing these people spill. It's actually doing it for you to graduate. Ain't that what you go to regular white schools to eventually do? How long are you going to stay in the 8th grade and act like you're deep? Mm-hmm. How long are you going to stay in high school and act like you're deep? You're supposed to graduate. Most people that fuck with me graduate. There's so many people that fuck with me hard back in the days. They don't now. They've gotten what they want. Some people don't want to spend a lifetime doing this shit. They just get what they want. And that's how it's supposed to be. I've been graduates. You know what I'm saying? And I guess if someone wants to hang around, if they like hanging around, that's fine too. But something internally, I would be so frustrated if I'm fucking with you and I'm not going to that next level. When I fucked with Bobby Hemmett, I went to the next level, regardless of me and him had conversations after the fact. We had conversations because he seen, I believe, the aggression that was in my ass. You know, he would say things constantly like, I've been giving out that book for years, and they say, fuck that. Because you get frustrated, and I see why now, when you've made it plain and you've given it out, and the bulk of who you fuck with is still talking about some shit from before. You know what I'm saying? Still from scratch. See, I've learned not to let that fuck with you. What's the next level cost madness? You need to find that and define it for yourself. See, that's my exact point. When a nigga asks what is the next level, you're asking me to define it for you? For real? Is that general? Because to me, that's fucking stupid. The next level is you licking a donkey's ass. Now, why don't you begin? The next level is something you're supposed to define for yourself, not when the moon turns blue. That's the point of what you're hearing right now. That's the point of what you're hearing right now. You know what I'm saying? The next point is for you to have it to be on automatic pilot, for you to have internal questions that you need. Why did you come to Earth then? Why did you come to Earth? For me to answer your questions? For Bobby Hemmett to answer your questions? Dr. Africa to answer your questions? No, they're supposed to be helping you through their expertise to find a way for you to even ask questions of yourself.
Right, open that mind up.
That's what they're supposed to be doing. Authors giving you ways to ask questions of yourself because you previously didn't remember the questions to ask them. You just want to know. That's the idea. What's the next level? You define it. And then when you're done with the levels here, you're dead. It's like asking Mario, what's the next level? Whatever. As soon as you get to King Koopa, motherfucker, you there. Did you go through the pipes? Did you fly? Did you have a mushroom? Whatever, nigga. It's not for the next man to define. Or it is also not for the moon to define. And your ability not being able to talk should be not for Mercury in retrograde. I thought you created all of that. So you don't know either the cheat codes or how to supersede your own creation? Duh. And of course you know that's the idea of becoming human, but that's the path you're walking back towards. And that's your own path. You're asking the next man to walk your path. You're asking the next man to walk their path. That's not a good way of being. But that's what you guys got sucked into. Starting on with religion, and then the conscious movement was to break that chain. But then when people start to see it's harder to break you out of the mind control and easier to buy into it with new symbols. And get it? It's harder to break the mind control, but much easier. We're at 777. 777 people. It's harder to break the mind control because they don't even understand it in themselves, but easier to buy into it as an agent provocateur or someone who just says, fuck, I can't save them. They won't save themselves. Even though I lay out all these tools, it's easier to tell them what they want to hear. Because when you tell them what they want to hear, they go into their own pockets. You make them feel good. See, if I say shit that makes you feel good, my cash app goes up. That's church. That's where you learned it from. You learned that from church. He says what makes it feel good. As soon as he sees in your eyes that frenzy, that alpha state, that mouth opens and the eyes widen up, that's when you pass that collection plate around. Grab that back. Thank you. Like, yeah. You see, why wasn't it divine? Thanks, TJ. Yeah. But I'm telling people, niggas can't get. No, I'll keep on the subject. That fucking pizza boy, New York boy, that shit got me under mind control with pizza. All right. So the blue moon, if you find something and it feels good, do it. But if you feel an obligation, and this is some once in a lifetime thing, then you actually fell under the mind control. I'm waiting for an event, or someone to tell you what event, for you to do some shit. Now, there's certain events that if you can decode are indications of things that are happening in you, for instance, like Beetlejuice. But look at the average Christian and shit, fuck that, for the average nigga in the so-called conscious community. If you don't work with the energy, it doesn't mean nothing. Life goes on and on and on and on again. And then you'll be living another lifetime, waiting for another fucking, the moon is purple today. Before you realize that's not the only thing. None of this matters if you can't utilize it. See what it is, you think you are saved just because you have melanin. Contrairement frère. You say it takes a lot for your car to run, not just having a car. You need gas, you need wheels, a steering wheel, seats. All of these things that you have to get together as a whole before you can go anywhere. So that's like somebody saying, what's the next level? Well, when you get in your car that's working, you want me to tell you where to drive as well? I'm just trying to get you in a working car. And that's what any teacher should be trying to do, get you in something that works. And you're just admiring all of this shit. Because that's really all you're gonna do, admire the moon. And if you light a candle or do whatever that you may have learned, well good, if you're making something work for you. Like for instance, for years I heard about reverse candles. And it's obvious what they do. You know, and niggas, oh, they fucking with me.
That's a fact.
Don't let me light my candles and reverse them on y'all niggas. Reverse candles,
That's a straight fact. Candles is used as weapons. Black spirituality. Don't make me light a candle on you, hoe.
So what I did was,
Goodness gracious.
early on in the 2000s,
We shoot each other, kill each other, still work on each other.
Going crazy over the 9/11 anniversaries, and everybody was still lighting white candles. I just got reverse candles then to try to get the energy of everybody who was lighting the candles
You like some sage, probably.
to come my way. So instead of all that energy going to 9/11 niggas, how about I get some of that energy myself? That's how you serve yourself. That's the next level. That type of creative thinking. So now the only thing left to do is to do it to see if you can yield results. And oh, yes I did. That night, all I heard was thousands of people calling out their names. My name is such and such. So what I knew, which is what you can speculate, that the ritual and the people dying, they were able to entrap them in the astral world. The astral world is a part of this world. It could be heaven or hell. That's the true heaven or hell. It depends on your mind. Because your mind is running it, so when you go to the astral world, you have nothing but your mind. If you think you're going to hell and it's burning and it's an inferno, oh yeah. But see, when you feel that, you're able to come back to earth and you live. I'm saying, unless you're ignorant or whatever. Now, They don't know no better. They're victimized. They are the same mentality as you niggas talking about, oh, the moon is blue. Okay, I guess we're doing some hot shit tonight. And don't know what to do. They're just being led around by what people tell them. So when planes hit, not out of some orchestrated event, they don't know what to do. Calling their family, this is it. Believing in that bullshit they were told, have no way of empowering themselves, not preparing themselves for any form of death, don't know shit about ancestors, pretty much, or whatever you want to call it. And they go wherever they are directed to go. And therefore, they are directed to by people who understand what I'm teaching you now. So when I did the reverse ritual, I heard them all trying to get recognition because they have no self-identity in the astral world. That's the ritual. That day I also got my spirit soul name. So I yielded results by doing my own thing. That's the next level. So if I did the moon ritual, I would just lit reverse candles for when somebody was bothering me. That's the regular norm. That's the keyboard playing by the book. But when you start going into the chaos or the creative aspect of things, you yield a whole different understanding. It has nothing to do with the community. It has everything with your confidence and how to keep doing those spiritual calisthenics till you have full-grown muscles. You understand? You're not doing that. Just repeating about the moon. Remember the red moon, the blood moon. Remember the moon was close. Remember the moon was closest, and now it's going to be closest, and this and that, the other thing. Listen, it's never ending. That's one of the things I noticed. And let me tell you how I made that mistake. Somebody need to hear this. When 2012 was approaching, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a thing. We're going to end it, be all the end of 2012. We're going to do this, all the rest of that shit, right? And then when 2012 came, nothing really happened. What everybody say, all these divine teachers that you fuck with.
Everybody leave a comment down below. How old were you in 2020, 2012? 2012. 2012. What the fuck is it 2012?
Well, it's not really 2012. The Ethiopian calendar says, the Kemetic calendar, which all may be very true. But then when I told the body about it, he said, you ever notice I don't do that shit? Start putting all my eggs in events. He said, because we did that. Or you might have said they were doing that. For Y2K and the lecture circuit, after nothing happened in 2000, god damn. He said he was doing 4 lectures or 6 lectures a month. He was down to 1 lecture a month. It was over. He got, and that was the point of eye-opener with Brother Shabazz. They kind of put a new energy in it and started again to where it is. When you see Bobby at that when you see him in the place with in that auditorium speaking. Now, what he's pretty much saying is events come and go constantly. There's a meteorite event. You can see this in the sky and that in the sky. All of that is happening internally. It's internal indications. But if you're doing no internal work, you're actually ignoring it. Even though you see it with these eyes, you're ignoring it with this eye. And this is the eye that actually benefits from. If you're seeing it with this eye, it's trying to indicate what's happening. That star system is nothing more than you're in a planetarium.
Mm-hmm.
There's no vast place out there. Again, if you're going to understand and co-sign that Earth is an illusion that you're admiring, then how can any of that shit out there be real? This whole thing is happening inside of you. That whole solar system that you're seeing, or that whole universe, or galaxies that you were told that you're supposed to be seeing, actually exists in your third ventricle. And again, if you look at Dr. Africa's book, of course, he has a picture of the inside of your third ventricle where you can see the Sirius star system in your own head. So if anybody's gone to a planetarium before, you understand that you're sitting in a dome and the universe is being projected above your head, but you're in one room. You're having that same experience, but one room is your own mind. And you have to understand when they say the mind is all, that's what you're worried about. They don't say the mind is all, but wait till the moon turns blue. Think about that for a second. All of these things could actually be tools, but that same tool, a hammer, can be used to bend you upside your head and kill you. And it can also be used to build a house. And somebody said, no Pepsi tonight. I gotta get this water in a little bit later. And then or if I say a screwdriver, I may be used to build with a screwdriver or use that screwdriver to stab or take apart. Screwdriver goes both ways. You can bang a hammer in, you can bang a nail in with a hammer, but on the other side of the hammer, it has the object to take the nail out. Tools go both ways. So a blue moon can be a tool that either builds or can destroy you. And because the foundation has been destroyed through religion and public school training, anything that you pile up on top of it, including our divine information.
I'm not for certain. I want to guess tri-state area, Chucky. I'm not at New York, if I had to guess.
It just goes in the power of destruction because you haven't changed from destruction to
That
building.
part, native T.
You understand? You have to. That's the core of what I've been teaching. That's the core of what the true teachers are teaching. How to rebuild your mind into when there is something like a blue moon, you know how to receive and benefit from it. Using your own creativity and imagination. I can't begin to tell you how many things I've done to get my mind thinking outside of the box. And those are creative things. Those things are against the norm. Get a pumpkin, get an octopus. Open up the pumpkin, put the octopus in it. After a day, put it outside. During Halloween or Cthulhu ritual to open up the soul, subconscious mind communication. Very ready. And while you do that, take a bath in the cayenne pepper, very light cayenne pepper, sea salt, crystal. Now, see what happens to you. There's no one thing that's going to happen. I can tell you what happened to me when I did it. So now, if you take this mentality where you're not trying to recreate what I did, that's when you're causing destruction, religion. If you try to do this because I made it successful for me, to see if it's successful for you. occultist is a scientist.
Mhm.
And a scientist is here to experiment, not to co-sign with what other niggas say. That's not a scientist. And that's not an occultist. You know what I'm saying? An occultist has to experiment. You set up an altar not to do what I'm doing or the way I did it. You set up an altar to see what happens to you.
Right.
To be able to add to a conversation. You're going to add to the conversation doing what I did. Then why are you saying the word build? Being panicked for building. No, we weren't. You were repeating what I said, what I did. Trying to recreate what I did. If you even did what I did or found another layer or did something else that you can offer as a tool, then we're building. We're not building if you're just repeating it, trying to, everyone's doing the blue moon because that's what the community is saying. Grow up. Quite simply, just grow up. All right, let's deal with something else. Psychomancy classes have began. The first cycle is Saturday. We do Saturday and Sunday. Get in and out. And
I'm gonna take one of his classes.
it is the life changer that I know it to be. Say it. Pizza's good.
That's a pizza you eating. It look like a piece of toast or something.
To be clear, no one will be even using the word psychomancy.
And it's up to you on what you do with this energy, for real, for real. Like you said, it's all within you.
Went to visit this lady, and we went to a used bookstore. I just grabbed a chunk of shit from their metaphysical section. And one of the books I got was Psychomancy. Why this book stuck out to me? Because in the New Age time, any magical books came with warnings. And that's because it puts a psychological hold on the New Age mind. The New Agers, or the New Age mind, who's trying to get into it when they give you that warning in the beginning. Be careful what you do to come back tenfold on you. That subconsciously put in your mind, no matter what I do or learn here, I have a hold on how far I could go or where I should use it. This is another way of saying, if you niggas run across this information, don't kill white people. Please don't kill us. Because they know you, right, they set a ceiling. Great one, Donnie Darko. They set a ceiling. But what they're really saying is, we don't want to put this in the hands of black people, and all of a sudden. Phil Valentine told this story back in one of his lectures, that in Texas there was a drought, and there was a radio host that just put out on the radio, I want y'all guys to hold your mind, think of wet, think of water, think of this, think of that. He did it, it almost flooded out this area of Texas, and told one, please stop, please stop. So, what does this tell you?
He fucking that pizza.
Our mind is unified, goes somewhere. I noticed this years ago when Avatar came out. One of the things they do is predictive programming. So in Avatar, or movies like Avatar, if they're going to create a world scenario that they're going to have to sell to you, and you have to subtly let it happen, you can't be shocked when it happens. So, we now know, or we should know, that anything in your mind that you can think of, to the subconscious mind is actually happening. So if you focus and see the detail of you running a marathon and try to remember every feeling that came along with it, the subconscious mind actually thinks you're running a marathon. And you will get the health benefits of a runner. Body will change and everything. Knowing this, meditation is the key.
Mm-hmm.
And your imagination becomes the key. Because what makes things real? I told you, your subconscious. So your subconscious is not rational. So when it's happening for real, that's why we have negative thoughts, you have a negative outcome. Keep saying, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. Subconscious mind says, okay, you're telling me that, and I can't tell the difference between your mood of the day.
Right, if you're being sarcastic or not.
In your mantra, you keep seeing it in your head, in your symbol. You keep telling me and recognizing the trauma that gets you in that mood. I guess it's true. And that's how you become depressed. And that also works with anything positive too. Oh, that's why you get positive thought, think good. Don't speak ill of the dead. Bring it out loud. Your mind can't tell the difference. So, ironically enough, I'll tell you another thing that you probably never even thought about, but why it's done. You'll see disabled people, missing arms, missing legs, born a certain kind of way. They have an incredible, Cheryl just keeps saying I'm lying. I think people are aware of that by now, sir. I think the Cheryl will keep saying that. Anyway, they do more videos of them poking fun at themselves than people who are straight poke fun at themselves. And when I started to see this whole phenomenon of disabled people making these jokes, I said, oh, I get it. Because if in our mind we treat and laugh and treat them normal, then we'll start to treat them in everyday life as normal. You follow what I'm saying? There's this one dude with little bitty arms who just does shit, just be eating shit, like drives and shit that he goes, that each time he eats, he just taps shit. Yeah, and he just shakes his fries up, you know what I'm saying? And like, you're trying to act like you're having passion, but you know you really laugh, right? But then I get why, at least some of them I imagine, they're trying to show normalcy.
And I ain't gonna
laugh,
lie,
but they can't help the way it is.
I think Brother Panic over there eating them that new papadilla from Papa John's. I'm gonna have to give me one of those. Hey, he making a motherfucker look good as hell. When I tell you he is smashing this fucking papadilla, I gotta get me one. Period.
So what are they gonna
I'm
do?
getting me
Act?
one.
You're supposed to act, and there's always an elephant in the room. You know, we was just all chilling and they walking home. Where the bitches? You don't like, oh man. And then you're gonna go in the next room with your man and y'all gonna go crazy. But if they don't care, and I can get why they wouldn't, what can they do? They know people all their lives. They go in the room and they see people, they're not stupid, see people holding back laughter, so why don't they just address it? I can see people doing that. You understand that's how the mind works. And if you understand and you can see how the mind works, not just even in the so-called occult, when you observe things about the mind such as this, and that's how you get to the next level, by understanding and evaluating these things like this, and see does it line up with other things, and see if or what does it line up with. You follow what I'm saying? So We did an interview on the podcast that's coming. And I did this interview before and took it down, so a lot of y'all didn't see it. But we did it again with the podcast with Brother Devin. Brother Devin has cerebral palsy. But I guarantee you, he will fuck all of y'all up at where he is in his mind. The shit he's communicating with, the shit he's doing is so advanced. And he'll tell you yourself. He doesn't have a body. And he was diagnosed since he was born. So all he has is his mind. So when he hears me speak and there's no physical resistance in his way, he hears me and others as well. And makes shit happen. And that interview will be coming up soon. We already interviewed Brother Devin. There's a brother that I know who has cerebral palsy. But we got some interesting stories. And stories that show, I'm trying to show people who made something out of themselves. Not the same as routine thing. Brother Devin, it's on Facebook, whatever it is. See if I can find his Facebook real quick. DEVON. I said, I knew him for about 10 years online. Hold up. That's so good ass work. Phone's going real slow. Let me see if I can get it through. That's what it is. Always messenger, not blackhead. So I can give you, so y'all can hook up and meet him, even though he gives all the information on the interview that I did. So who, he's the guy I did an interview for, I have cerebral palsy, that he's gonna show you what a badass motherfucker is. He's gonna make all you motherfuckers look silly. His name is Devin Harris on Facebook. Devin Harris, DEVON Harris. And y'all look forward to that interview so y'all can see a mentality that y'all should be adapting. And when you talk to him, he's got more shit on his plate than I know you niggas, you Burger King ass, Arby's ass niggas is doing. So this, when you see him, his confidence, his innocence, what it will do for you, hopefully, is inspire you to understand, to get past how cool you think you are, and get down to some basics. Some basics in understanding this stuff, some basic work. They're not doing that. They're looking for shortcuts and easy ways out and all sorts of other kind of shit. Do it, nigga. Let's get into something else. Well, here's what I know. This ain't a 5-hour lecture. This is not gonna happen today. We're about to end this soon. I'm about to add something good because it's everything I wanted to say, which was pretty much come check out the new psychomancy class. And don't get hung up on a blue moon. If you found or can find a way to access it, or someone who's truly a teacher is giving you it as a tool to benefit you in this short amount of time, or they have given it, then knock yourself out. Or they're just talking that bullshit, oh, it's a blue moon and we're in a special phase of the goddess and the energy is pristine. Go out and get your tea and sit outside and put your feet in the dirt and all that. Okay, that's nice. You do that any day though. That don't mean nothing. Like, then that means you're just interested in seeing the phenomenon of this place. Then you're not interested in leaving this place. You find it interesting. I don't find the moon turning blue interesting no more. I'm done with this. But again, that's just me.
I feel you. I feel him.
But then you niggas need to stop saying dumb shit to me like, oh, we're gonna die, I don't want to come back. Yes, you do. You want to see more blue moons. That's what I see. Justin Thomas. It's Justice Thomas. Oops. An inside joke. Yeah, Devin Harris, Wale Muhammad, Wahid.
I think he's reading the comment section now.
Good, honest dude.
Let's see.
Made the choice that, okay, I feel I got everything I needed out of Earth. I'm the black sheep. Nothing gets me excited. I don't want to travel and see this world. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. If you want to go to Florida, just the Disney World, have fun. But we talking about just that's what you get out of bed to do. You know what I'm saying? If you that person, okay, that's just a level of me. And truthfully, even though I make a face, I'm really making a face from my perspective. Some people, that's it. There's no crime to be young. You know what I'm saying? And a young person that comes here needs a few lifetimes to learn how to play that keyboard. I'm talking to people who have stepped up. I'm a teacher from college. I'm not a teacher from elementary school. So I expect that you did your work to get to this school in high school. I expect that you graduated and you're ready to be grown now. And that's how I teach from that perspective. If you're not, then there's nothing wrong, but hang out with people who teach high school classes.
Hey Zoe, welcome in.
And it has nothing to do with bad or good, not belittling or big upping, because your high school teachers are very influential, very important, and very divine as well. There's people who came to do this and do it on this level. But you have to recognize levels. See, it's only a shame no one's teaching you mind control at an early level, because then you'll be able to evaluate your own mind. You start dealing with mind control when you get to the upper levels of the teachers. And by then, you're already doing your mind control Christianity to understand the shit that you're fucking with. So mind control needs to be understood on an earlier basis to understand how the mind works. Real teachers, even at a high school level, should be teaching that. The laws of Tahuti. It actually is really there. You can read Wayne Chandler's book, Ancient Future, and he gives a good understanding of the 7 laws of Tahuti. Once you understand those laws, you're in a very good place. Also called the Kabbalah in the later day. Once you understand that, you're in a very good place of study. For understanding the principles of how you should navigate through your study. It's not even about the study anymore. And that's why shit is sounding corny, because people just sit in front of you saying shit that is way done. There was a time where you couldn't find this particular knowledge. There was very, very small avenues, and there was no Amazon. So books were absolutely out of print all day. The name of the game was out of print books. And when Amazon and the internet came back, all those out of print books came back. Everyone started having their YouTube, white, black, and alike. The conscious community, when it was on a certain level of, what's the best word to say? Certain understanding that everybody walked through the door with, no matter what they taught, there was a way to teach it, got absorbed into monetizing YouTube. And they also got absorbed into smelling their own ass, feeling their own snake bite, arguing with each other about fucking nothing. is a black woman God? You know that's a yes. Then who is? If she's not, then who is? That's not a debate. That's something that they figured would entertain you motherfuckers. And y'all did, not necessarily all of y'all, but y'all bought into it and trying to entertain you. And if they're smart enough into training, and some of them were, into training you into following them down to nowhere, into what they call trick knowledge, where you believe you're listening to the knowledge, but you're not. When I start naming names and start asking, well, what did you actually learn from? It wasn't teaching you nothing. They was trying to show you how smart they were, and they were. Those were some geniuses I seen sitting in front of us. But at the same time, because you were witnessing their genius, somehow your ego picked up that you were somehow involved in genius. No, you're just listening to something that's how you lead. If they're dropping something, see, if I said to you this is what's odd to me. If I said to you, sickness vibrates at a 23 megahertz. Health, 110 megahertz. I'm making all these numbers up. Depression, this megahertz. Such and such, this megahertz. Now, you may sit there and go, damn, I need a panic D. And you wrote all of that shit down. But here's why it becomes trick knowledge. Because I didn't make that up. Information like that detail, those specific numbers, I got it from somewhere. I either got it from a book or another teacher. The question becomes, why won't I tell you where I got it from? So you can read it yourself and come up with your own determination. I want to give you the illusion that I made it up. So you can think I'm the smart one bringing you that subconsciously. See, if you put some thought to it, you can come up with what I just said. It's not really that hard. But you're trained not to think about it because you're in church. You're trained to hear what he said or she said and say,
that's
damn, that's deep. Because I didn't know that. But you're not trained to say, where did you learn it at, nigga? He is what you are. You are what he is. So why aren't you trained to say, where'd you get it from? See, before this shit was on the internet, that's why they used to say the word check. What you think check meant? If I said something, such and such is a such and such frequency, that's a certain frequency, the presence of the frequency, check. Because I was trying to tell you, check what I said. I wouldn't say anything in front of you unless it was checkable and where you could check it from. You heard Big Bird? That turned over into just making these statements that you clearly got from either some book, but you didn't channel it, or some teacher who got it from some book. Why aren't they telling you that? They want to leave your mind control where it was, believing that they are who you need to transform yourself. You now have a psychological reliance on them, not on yourself. When you have a true teacher, it hurts when I talk to you sometimes, because I'm trying to empower you, and that's what hurts, because the reality is everything in this society has taken power away from you. And even when someone tries to restore it to you, you think it's an act of war. When I'm telling you, because all I'm telling you primarily, and some people will take offense to what I've been saying so far about the moon, they being blue. What it will tell you is what I've been telling you, I'm sorry, is you don't need the moon, you don't need the color blue. You're divine every day. Anything a blue moon, a white moon, a purple, orange stars, and green clovers can offer you, you can do right now. That's what I'm saying to you. And there will be people who's offended that I'm telling you that you're God. See, I'm trying to convince you that you're God. And you should be trying to convince yourself that you're God. While you listen to niggas that convince you that they're God. Well, the megahertz of depression is this. Yeah, nigga, power versus force. Hawkins. Get the book. Right. Read for yourself and see your interpretation. That's what checkmate. Don't be a foolish mule. All right, where we at? 127. She was getting thin, guys. I'm ready to go upstairs. I hear my granddaughter ready to go play cars and whatever game she tells me we're playing. So that's more spiritual. Getting into the imagination. She's been exercising my imagination by me entertaining her with her toys. And that's what a grandfather's supposed to do. So y'all are not that interested in to say this shit over and over again. Only thing I can say, come to class. Like I said, the idea is to give you tools to empower yourself, as I've always been in tradition with some of the original teachers before the internet, I should say, before everything came about, just getting a check every morning. You know what I'm saying? I get that everybody needs to pay their bills, and so do I. Again, Cash App, $, Brother Pan, make my day go right. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, try to offer something that they can use if they're going to be paying you for it. You're not going to have people pay you just so you can perform consciousness. What I try to give you is not the performance of consciousness, but again, things you can walk away with. And that's also the standard you should be evaluating your teachers with. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people say, am I still looking for new teachers? I'm not necessarily looking for new teachers. I just think there always should be some teachers available. Now, it may emerge again into something a little bit more comprehensive, because so far what I've been seeing is a lot of people ranting about a bunch of recycled internet shit, about child trafficking and GMO food and Vanguard, Trump, the government, you know what I'm saying? What's a good CASA management, CASA management. I see people ranting about it, and though they look exciting and looking full of exciting rants, it's the same recycled stuff. But that still may be good because there's people who never heard that before. But it only really worked when there was an order of teachers, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was Dr. Lean, there was Brother Phil. Like, even when I met Shabazz, the way he organized his table physically was from your level of consciousness all the way from left to right. So it started with tapes of like Farrakhan and Black Pat Pride, and ended with Bobby Hemmett and Phil C. Down. In the middle, Dr. Africa and Brother Wayne and Oscar Kwesi was probably after Black Power. You know what I mean? Things like that. So it was organized that way because there was a system of your evolution to speak of. There's no longer that's where they got us. When they went online, the evolutionary system was disrespected by those who wanted to get the fast cash, start debates, arguments,
Right.
conflict about nothing, because they don't understand and they're not evolving. So money becomes the path of evolution. Attention becomes the path of evolution. And if if they're in a position, they do it, and they did it. And then because these other niggas are fighting for attention, they love that shit. They all became debaters and started debating and arguing about shit that don't even matter to be argued about. You either respect the black woman as God or you don't.
Period.
You either know or you don't know. You can't convince me. Yeah, I guess, what do you expect to happen? I guess after all, the black woman is God. I guess so. They make convincing arguments. No, you either recognize it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? I choose to recognize it. If I choose to see the divinity in me, what question is that in her? And in fact, the divinity in her, the more I study, as I pointed out earlier, through Oracle of the Illuminati, I talked about that in another live. There's a book you should get where it explains the importance of the divine feminine and how you can't be Christ without the divine feminine, the mother and the whore. There's just two different aspects of the divine feminine that takes care of you. First, the mother in the nurturing, which is the virgin, non-sexual, and then the sexual aspect of the mother, your girl. That's why every girl finds a man like their father, every man finds a woman like their mother, because that's Mary Magdalene and Mary the Virgin. So and both of them is to nurture and bring forth the Christos energy. So are they God? They're God makers, stupid. And that's obvious. If you're a God, you got here through a vagina. So doesn't that just says, what do you have to debate about? Try not eating your vegetables when you was little. Did you have a question who God was then? The problem is, all you gotta do is read Willie Lynch letter when they talk about breaking a horse and getting a mother horse to eat out your hand, and all the kids will follow.
Mm-hmm.
The mother, the black woman, is just eating out the hand of the white man. That's what you need to stop instead of arguing if she's God. No, this is what's happening to God. Ain't no argument, but see, the argument makes for a better show. You understand? And what y'all niggas need to admit, whether you like it or not, you're here for a show. See, if I started naming names, that's when this room would light up, because you're here for a show. If I said, man, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, and said names, and this nigga's doing that right now, that's what you really want. That's when my shit would light the fuck up. So you need to stop lying to your fucking selves that you in some fucking community. You're fucking regular niggas who love to gossip, and you found a network that's understandable to you. And that's what you're here for. You don't believe me? Just look at the numbers from the debate. I'm proud to say this. My numbers didn't stagnate, and the numbers that they were getting for the debates, I still was getting the same comparable numbers with just telling knowledge, just speaking knowledge, which is why I kept going. Because if my numbers would have went down, I would have said, no, my time is over. This time is over. So if I still don't get the numbers, I'm gonna respectfully go about my business, because that means my time is up. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as you need it, I'm auditioning. But I am absolutely weary. I'm done. I've said pretty much after I did How to Die and Not Come Back, pretty much said whatever I wanted to say. Things just happen when they do. There's a whole bunch of shit I can get into that I know you niggas ain't never heard of. But then I have to ask, are you really worthy of all that effort? Are you really worthy of 5 hours of me talking? Just only for when I come in here to start fucking taking out your genitals and rubbing them to a fucking blue moon? Then I don't know where the disconnect is, but it's not connecting after 5 hours. It's not connected. So why am I wasting my time? I am absolutely, look at my throat chakra. That's the blue moon, nigga. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And the blue moon will be over after today. I don't think there's going to be any more of these long lectures unless there's something that's so spiritually inspirational.
Mhm.
You follow what I'm saying? I'm going to concentrate more on live lectures. I think that's where the energy is at. The Q&A is just about over there.
All right, family, that will conclude the video. Thank y'all for coming through, and I hope that this helped elevate your mind. It definitely did for me. Definitely, just reminded me to not fall into, you know, the religious cycle. It's so easy to do that. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that at this time, or, I have to have this on my altar, or whatever it is for you, you know. Um, this is a good reminder of that, We don't have to take all this shit so serious. As within, so without, as above, so below. So there's nothing outside of you that's not inside of you. Everything is just a projection. He really made me think. Shout out to Brother Panic. Shout out to the tribe. Ooh, y'all, I'm getting a little sick over here. I'm getting sick. I'm trying to fight it. Thank y'all for coming. I will see y'all soon. Okay? Y'all be easy.